Well, Chad, I should say Chadalac. I mean, that's
Okay.
what you go by around here. So you're Chadalac.
That's
I
right.
mean, I call you Chad, but yeah, Chadalac says Chadalac right there on the jersey. So Chadalac, thank you for taking the time. I know you're here early today before your normal duties as the Game Day Plaza host for the Atlanta Braves. So thank you for driving in early for us. We appreciate it. I know it's not. We were just talking. It's not a short drive for you to come here either.
It's not a short drive, but coming in early, it's definitely a better drive,
Okay.
beating the Atlanta rush hour. So
Okay. So
285 was very nice to me today.
okay. All right. So we helped you, is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely.
Beautiful.
I
I
may
love
need
it.
to start doing this more often. It actually worked out. Don't tell my wife, because if she knows I'm early for anything, she's going to know why. So I'm not an early person, an early bird. I'm more of, let's go. Where's he at?
Yeah.
So man, I'm early. Like I feel weird. It's
Yeah.
kind of strange to be at work early.
Yeah, I know. You got to hit that sweet spot of like getting there just the right time, but not
right.
leaving too much time on your plate. So, well, man, thank you again for taking the time again, for real, for coming early. We do very much appreciate it. Just, we'll get into you, your background, how you got here. But we want to start with, like we do with all of our kind of front office features episodes, and just take fans through what it is you do for the Atlanta Braves. A lot of them already know you. They see you when they come to Truist Park. They see you outside there. But just tell fans what it is you do.
I have fun.
Love
we
that.
specialize in fun, and that's one of the coolest things about the entertainment team. Is I guess technically where I'm housed is the experience of coming to the ballpark. You know, and I say on the stage all the time, you kind of know what to expect when you get inside the ballpark. The team, the food, the music, you know, stuff like that. But outside coming in, man, we specialize in fan experience, and it is all about these people coming to Truist Park, making sure they have the absolute best time they could possibly have. And I always try to tell the guys and the folks I work with, we're lucky because we get to do it every day. I mean, it's like game 60 something for us this year, but I always try to remind everybody that I work with, just imagine that you're that person. This is your first game this year. You know, or maybe this is your first game ever. I always like to ask who's our Truist Park rookies out there, you know, first time here, and you'd be surprised how far Braves country extends. Past couple of homestands, we've had them from Idaho. The other week with our last homestand, we had a young fan who was probably 10 or 11 years old. He and his mom woke up at 3 a.m., got on an airplane in California, came here for our 7:15 game, and then flew back to California after the game. No special reason, just to come watch a Braves game, him and his mom. So, I mean, it's cool to hear stories like that and share the experiences with the fans.
That's incredible, man. That's so incredible. And you're so right that we get to do this every day. We're here every day. Victoria, this is her 4th year. This is my 11th year. So we're here a lot. We've been here a lot. But you always have to remember that this might be somebody's first. It might be somebody's only time they ever get to be here. I know I was watching last night on the broadcast. There was a lady. I can't remember how old she was. I think she was around 90. But she had lifelong Braves fan. And I think, if I remember right, I was working during the game too, so it's kind of hard to remember some of the finer details at the moment. But it was a big deal that she was able to finally make it out to the ballpark, and they kept showing her on the broadcast. I just was looking at her, and she had this grin on her face, like I think she was 90,
Yeah.
but she looked like she was 9.
Exactly.
You know, she had this smile and joy on her face, like she was 9. And it's like you always got to remember that the people are here to have a good time, and you want to help them have that good time. You know, create memories for them.
The word that we always love as experience. You know, remembering, you know, from the time you get here to the time you walk in the gate, sitting in the stands, the experience, you know, no matter, of course, we always want to win the game. That's what it's all about. But if you could leave the ballpark and you're a fan and you talk about how much fun you had at the ball game, that's what it's all about. At least it is to me.
Yeah.
Love the fan experience and making sure that every fan that comes through has the best time possible.
So years ago, long before I got this job, or what is now my current job with the Braves, I had I guess you'd call it like a mini tryout with the Braves and this is going back Turner Field days. This is prior to even Truist Park being announced as like a thing that was happening. So it's going back a ways now. But I had a little tryout there was an opening at the time that I guess was kind of like what you have now, like the gig that you fill for the Braves. And I tried out for it. Long backstory, I had some connections with the Braves, and this came up, and they were like, "Oh, we'd like to try you out for this." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I I was horrible. I was horrible at it. And I discovered in that, and I knew too, like when they told me I didn't get it, I was not at all upset or like I got it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not cut out for this. This takes us, like, it is a special talent to be able to do that, to be like, to just say like a hype man doesn't even feel like it's enough for me, because you are truly not just entertaining everybody, you are holding everybody in the palm of your hand. Essentially, you're trying to make sure, you're trying to keep everybody happy, keep everybody smiling, make sure they have a great time. And also, you have to have this personality, this excitement about you that feels real and organic. And it's hard to fake, hard to do. I discovered in trying out for it, man, it takes a special, like, talented person to do this. And you have that. And I envy that, because I've tried and I was like, man, I suck at this. This doesn't work. So how did you develop that personality? Or when did you find out that you kind of had that hype man personality?
Well, as you can tell, I've never won Sexiest Man of the Year. So
I've
learned real fast. You better have a good personality. So, by the way, if awards were based on personality, I'd be the Brad Pitt of personality.
Love it.
So that's how it works.
Love
but man, I got a radio background. I've spent almost 20 years in radio, mainly on the south side of Atlanta, and just right out of high school. I graduated high school in 2003, in June of 03, and then in August of 03, I was doing sports broadcasting for a local radio station with high school football, and just got in and worked my way up, and spent, like I said, almost 20 years in radio. So just when you're sitting in a radio booth by yourself, you don't know if you got one person listening, if you've got a million people listening, but you better learn how to keep an audience. And you better learn to be funny, and you better learn how to have a good time and keep the story going. And I've basically just kind of transferred that from being by myself in a radio studio to being out on a stage with several thousand fans outside in the Battery each home game.
Well, you mentioned there you got in, essentially. So that's always interesting to me, especially for anybody that works in any role in sports, is because I feel like that's the biggest step of your career that lands you to where you are now, what we're talking about now is that first step, getting your foot in the door. What was that? How did you first get in? Like, what was that first foot in the door in radio for you?
In radio, it was crazy. I was in a real small town, back in my hometown of Jackson, Georgia. We had a local radio station that, was very different than major market radio. It was that live and local, hands-on. We're talking obituaries on the morning show, just stuff like that. Yeah. So it was a very mom and pop localized radio station, and I got in by accident. I was actually doing photography at the time for our local newspaper, and at the time, the sports editor, he came up to me. We're on the sidelines for a high school football game one Friday night, and he said, "Have you ever thought about doing radio?" And I just kind of looked at him, and I won't use the exact words I said to him, but it was like, why would I do that? 2 days later, I was in a radio station.
2 days later.
2 days later, and haven't looked back since. That was in, like I said, summer of 03 or fall of 03. And my life was newspaper, journalism, photojournalist, sports editor, and then all of a sudden, took a shift to radio. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was always that kid in school who got in trouble for talking too much. And then I learned real fast, wait a minute, I can actually get paid for talking and not get in trouble. So that's kind of how I got in the radio deal, and just, continue to cut my teeth, and primarily in the sports broadcasting world, and then got into the business side of it, learning the ins and outs of how to run a radio station when I moved up to my next day. And that's where my nickname Chadalac came from, was the second radio station, but learning the sales side, the programming side, the on-air side, just the business of it, that was kind of the background of the radio deal. But country radio is my thing. So I am and when I say country now, I mean country radio. Okay, we're talking old school, 70s, 80s, 60s, Ernest Tubb, Hank Williams, Lefty Frizzell, to go with my Alan Jackson, George Strait, That's my kind of country.
That is my kind of country too. I'm a Waylon Jennings through. Yes, sir. I think I spent my parents and I were on the road a lot in the early '90s, and every Sunday evening we were driving back to Virginia from somewhere, and the top 40. I think it was the top 40 country countdown. Yep. was a weekly staple at the time. So pretty much any country song that came out between 1990 and I'm going to say 1994. if it was at all played on the radio, I not only heard it, but heard it 1,000 times, and I mean that in a good way. It's like I still love that air. And then my dad's hero was Waylon Jennings, so I still have a great affection for Waylon. I think he's the GOAT of country music.
There you
that's
go.
That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like he is objectively but for me he is the guy. He's the guy. So I appreciate that. That's my era of country music, actual country music.
It's funny because on our way home from Bristol a couple of weeks ago, I was riding back with Jeffrey Schmidt, my boss, and we're riding down there, and all of a sudden we just break out in this karaoke session in this box truck coming through Chattanooga. It all started great, man. I'm like, wait a minute, this guy knows country music too? Like, I thought it was just me. So we're singing, going back and forth, and about the time we got to Kennesaw, I really got deep into my country, and it become like a therapy session. Because with country music, George Jones, Waylon, it can hit deep.
Oh yeah.
And I think I kind of sent Jeffrey into a sad, heartbroken, needing some therapy the next day. But I was like, dude, this is, to me, country music, the good country rips your heart out.
Yeah.
It makes you think, and it can be sad sometimes. But
Yeah.
Jeffrey hasn't spoke to me since then for some reason. We may need to do a wellness check on him.
Yeah.
It got a little sad there from Kennesaw back to Truist Park.
I just love the thought of you two in a Braves box truck,
Yes.
driving back from Bristol,
Jamming.
just jamming to like you said, Alan Jackson. Here's Clint Black's coming on the radio.
Yes, sir. It's funny. That's who we played.
Yeah.
I thought for a moment we were like the next Brooks and Dunn duo. But no, Alan Jackson, Clint Black, like you said, that 90 to 94 era, to me, Alan Jackson's my all-time favorite. Like you said, Waylon for you.
He's great.
To me, there's nobody greater than Alan Jackson.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that, like, if you pick up he's probably got multiple greatest hits compilations, but if you pick up the first one, you'd be like, yeah, every single one of these was massive. And then you would say, and there's at least 20 more. Like George Strait could put out like five number one hit albums and still have 50 more laying around somehow. It's amazing.
60-something number ones for George Strait.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's like 63, something, 60-something. And then you look at the list of songs that weren't number one, and you're like, how?
Yeah.
Like, how is this not a number one song? We could talk country radio all day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm a big country music fan. So.
I'm on the verge of going into like George Strait deep cuts here that are actually my favorites that weren't even singles. So, but this is the Braves podcast. So I'll try
Jeffrey will get jealous if we start singing. Okay. That was our time. He's going to get mad. So.
His office is right like through the wall of it's right kind of next to mine. Mm-hmm. So every now and then, like, I can hear him through his wall, or he can hear me through mine. And I'm gonna start just.
He don't sing as good as me though.
I believe that.
He's not as good.
I can believe it. Yeah.
We actually talked about a feature out on the stage, Braves Country Karaoke.
Oh,
where
I like
all country music, and like we do a segment each home game. So, but it's got to be country music. Braves Country Karaoke.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm way in.
Are you in?
I'm in to watch.
In to watch. Okay. Yeah. All right.
No, I'll do it. All
right.
I'll do it. I did have it was working when I was working for Major League Baseball. Very long story short, there were a bunch of us trying out for this gig with Major League Baseball, and it was kind of an on-screen thing. Like, so you're supposed to be entertaining and to be a personality, if you will. And as part of the tryout, they had karaoke for us one night, it was under the guise of us all just having fun. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is all just part of one big tryout. Like, they're giving us beers and everything and just saying, oh, you've been doing all this stuff all day and skits and stuff all day. This is just for fun. I'm like, no, this is still like, they're watching. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to do Conway Twitty, slow hand.
Man.
Do slow hand, right? What could go wrong? I can't sing, but what could go wrong? Well, the song starts up, and I'm like, boy, the key sounds like off. And I'm trying to sing along with it, and I pretty much know the words, but I notice every now and then some of the words, like, it's kind of slow hand, but some of the words are different. It was after that, and it was just a train wreck. It was bad. I made the best of it. I ended up getting the gig, so I didn't botch it too bad. So it worked out.
Nice.
But it was actually after I got the gig, I'd moved to New York to work for MLB for that summer, and I was in a what are those drugstores they have in New York City? I think they're called Duane Reade. I think that's what it is. Whatever. Might have been CVS. Don't matter. I was in there picking up stuff on my way to work, and they had the radio on, and I hear it was a female saying like poppier version of Slow Hand, and I'm like, that's what I was singing. They had like the cover of Slow Hand, but written from the opposite gender's perspective. So I was singing. It was a mess. It was a mess.
Were you trying to be the female in the song or trying to be Conway?
I was trying to be Conway,
Okay,
and the
all right.
words were messing me up. But
It's
trying
tough.
to be,
It's tough sometimes trying to sing a good country song when it's a female and you're singing it.
It's tough.
And you catch this weird feeling in the truck, like, wait a minute, this is Patsy Cline, and I'm trying to sing. You know the words, but it just feels weird.
I can sort of do it with like the Judds, Why Not Me,
yes,
and I'll even change it.
See, that's what
instead
we
of a
need.
Kentucky Girl, I'll
Yeah.
change it to Virginia Boy because I'm
There
a
you go.
Virginia boy.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking you and Victoria, the next Conway and Loretta. You know, Braves Country Karaoke with Chadalac out on the stage. Y'all can start with "You're the Reason Our Kids Are Ugly." Let's do it, man.
All right, well we're just spawning great ideas here right off the bat. I love it. Yeah. I love Braves Country Karaoke.
think we're gonna make it happen.
We got to make that happen.
think we're
That's
gonna do it,
wonderful.
so.
That's wonderful. Well, you mentioned Bristol. I did want to mention that. That's how you and I had not met you. A lot of times, like I work games, Victoria works games, but a lot of times when you're outside doing your thing, that's sometimes like a lot of times that's our break to eat in between what we were already doing and then the rest and then the game.
Yeah.
So we don't get to get out there much. So I hadn't gotten to meet you before Bristol, and we hit it off right.
That's
from that.
funny because I don't get to come into games. They don't let me in. So
Oh.
that's
Well,
kind of works out, I guess. So.
yeah, I guess so.
I'm glad to know I could fill your lunch break.
Yeah,
that's,
I appreciate
that's very
that.
nice.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. No, that's our one break we get to go eat, man. Like, so I don't get to get out there much, but we headed off at Bristol after I'd left you hanging for about 4 hours,
Yeah,
which
appreciate it.
I still feel bad about
Thanks.
that. I feel awful. It was
It's not
raining.
it's not bad because I had fun walking around the racetrack. I felt bad because I was like, man, I'm like working, like I'm getting paid to be here, but yet I'm literally not doing anything.
The quick backstory here is I was supposed to meet Chad at noon, and we were going to film some stuff for social media.
Yep.
And then it started raining, and we know it was kind of a messy day with the weather, and that messed up part of my schedule, and I got myself into a little bit of a tizzy trying to make sure we were getting all. And then I suddenly realized it's like 3 or 4 o'clock, and I'm like, I was supposed to meet Chadalac 4 hours ago.
It's all good. I was down in the media center with our Tomahawk team folding T-shirts, and they were teaching me how to play games. Victoria made them categories, and then wavelength, something like that. So I'm around the table in the media center at Bristol with beautiful Tomahawk team, and we're folding shirts. And so, I mean, I was working.
Oh, okay.
For anybody
Oh,
trying to
that's fine.
justify my hours.
Yeah.
I
No.
was working.
No,
It was just different than what I thought I was going to be
You
doing.
don't need to
so.
justify a thing. I left you hanging, like that was all on me. So, but yeah, we had a great time.
It was. Yeah.
I wanted to bring up Bristol though, mainly because the night before at the Paramount Theater on State Street in Bristol, Tennessee, beautiful theater, very
sir.
cool little downtown, great little southern old school town. Loved it. We had a watch party early in the day, Friday, for the Reds Braves game. That was around lunchtime, I think. But then that night we did a first of its kind, the first we've ever done, at least since I've been here. We called it Atlanta Braves Tonight, where it was like a late night talk show, Tonight Show style thing, where we had head coach of Tennessee baseball,
Tony Vitello.
Tony Vitello. Yeah. We had Daytona 500 champ Michael Waltrip, big Braves fan, and we had Braves 95 Braves World Series champion Mark Wohlers, and had each of them as guests. There was a musical act. There was blooper doing skits in between. And you were the Johnny Carson of this whole thing. You were the David Letterman, and whoever your favorite late night host is out there. That's who Chadalac was that night. And this was not something that was like months in the planning. This was something that Jeffrey and you and the team put together in pretty short order, and you absolutely killed it. I mean, what you did that night was we were marveling at how well you did, because that was I'd say it's a tough gig you got out here in the plaza. That was really tough, because that was just a show that was built like a full talk show in front of a live audience, in front of a whole theater full of Braves fans that was built, and that was so much fun. You killed it. It was hilarious. You kept the flow was perfect. So just how much fun, or how was it fun? Was it just stressful? What was that night like for you?
At first, it wasn't fun, and I almost turned the job down. I wasn't going to do it because Jeffrey said I had to wear pants. And I don't wear pants.
Yeah.
So we compromised. If he would have said tuck your shirt in, I'd have stayed back in Georgia. It just wasn't going to happen. But once I got over the whole yes, I'll wear some dress pants that night, man, it was a blast. And the crazy part was I'm a huge Georgia Bulldog fan. So having to sit there with Tony Vitello, who's the head baseball coach from Tennessee, and keep a smile on my face and be positive and see this huge crowd in front of us singing Rocky Top. And it was tough. That was probably the toughest part of the night.
When they sang Rocky Top?
Just to be no, I didn't sing Rocky Top. No,
I
sir.
said when they sang
Oh, well,
Rocky
they
Top.
sing, yeah.
Yeah,
I let
yeah.
them do their thing.
Yeah.
I respected Tony. He's a class act. Guy's a heck of a ball coach. They got a heck of a program in Knoxville. But that was fun. And talking with Mark was a trip. Some of the stories. I love the stories that people don't know about. You know, that's all. You could talk mechanics. You could talk moments in game, not the stuff, you know, locker room or, you know, flights to and from places. Those are always the fun things. And then when Michael Waltrip came out, I've interviewed Michael probably 4 or 5 times in the last 15 years, you know, working in the NASCAR world. So I knew when Michael got out, it was going to be fun. And we probably could have went another hour.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. But I think the funnest part was when Mark Wohlers and Michael Waltrip got comfortable together.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, a little crap talking here, talking a little crap there, and just kind of sitting back watching those two go at it. It was pretty fun, man. But having those three and having the fans there with us, it was just a blast. And what a lot of people don't realize is I'm a diehard Braves fan. I mean, eat, sleep, breathe, cuss, pray, mild heart attack. Braves fan. Been depressed, you know, heartbroken many times, like a lot of us in Atlanta. But I'm even a bigger NASCAR fan. So for me to be able to have the opportunity to have the Braves and NASCAR come together, I mean, you know, I say all the time, every day I come here, man, it's like a dream come true. So to sit there that night and combine those two worlds was just incredible. And the crazy thing is, man, I've been to hundreds of NASCAR races. Talladega, Daytona, Darlington, Charlotte. That was the first time I've ever been to Bristol, Tennessee in my life.
No kidding.
And I have been following NASCAR for over 30 years, diehard. But when we pulled up that Thursday night and we were like in downtown Bristol, I was like, wow, this is awesome. So then to get to the track, you know, I didn't realize the Bristol scene was as huge with country music as it was.
Yeah.
Till we got there and I see all these, you know, paintings on the side of the buildings, birthplace of country music. Mm-hmm. So now I've got the Braves. Now I've got NASCAR. And then my favorite love in the entire world, country music. So, I mean, I'm in there, you know, just like eyes popped out, just like, this is great. Can we stay another week? Right. But the show Friday night was a blast. The fans were great. To have the Tomahawk team there, to have the heavy hitters, to have Blooper. And for Jeffrey to, I don't know why he does it. I don't know why he trusted me to do it. For some reason, the guy likes me. Maybe it was my singing coming home from Tennessee.
Maybe you're sexier than you give yourself credit for.
It's bald, man. I don't know. You know, he's bald. I'm bald. Maybe it's a bald thing. I don't know. But I don't know.
Y'all gotta stick together.
I mean, I am, yeah. You know, he's, for some reason, man, the last couple of years, he's been the guy to believe in me. You know, he's been the one to ask me to do this event, host this event. And when he asked me to do that watch party, I'm like, dude, you want me? Like, me? Like, I am not pretty on camera. I am not a very, you know, attractive camera person. There's a lot of other people. But he still asked me to do it. And I was honored to do it, had a blast, and like you said, man, just a lot of fun. And I can only hope we get to do it again.
I do too. I think it was so much fun. It was such a success by every single measure that I think it's just a matter of time.
A lot of work went into that too. Of course,
sure.
You know, a lot of people got to see the finished product. But I mean, the rehearsal. We rehearsed that night. The doors opened at 6:30. We were still rehearsing at 6:27, doing our final run-throughs before Mark Wohlers and Michael Waltrip come to do autographs. We wrapped up at 6:28, 2 minutes before the event started. That's how close we were, just to rehearsing, making sure everything went well. And I thought it went great. I thought it was a lot of fun, and
it was wonderful.
It was bright. I should have wore sunglasses on stage.
I
couldn't. The funny thing was, I could hear the crowd, but even though they're 5 feet in front of me, I could not see if anybody was giving me the bird. Right. I couldn't see if anybody. I couldn't tell thumbs up, bird up. I couldn't tell what they were doing. I saw hands moving, but I couldn't see good.
Well, I can tell you, I was out in that crowd and we were laughing.
No birds or anything.
No, well, not for me.
Not
I
for
was.
you? Okay,
I was.
good,
I was
good.
laughing the whole time. Laughing. There was some. I mean, Michael got, you know, emotional talking about Dale Earnhardt Sr. one time. I mean, this show really we were laughing ourselves silly most of the time. There were some serious moments, and it was all wonderful. So, no, we weren't. You weren't getting any birds out there. You were getting nothing but thumbs up and applause and good vibes out there. So.
You know how quick my pants came off after that show? It was right back to the shorts within 60 seconds.
I was going to say, this was like you were talking about 6:27. We were still 6:28. We wrapped. The show wrapped up at 9:01. My pants were off at 9:02.
Oh, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Upstairs, green room, back into the shorts, and come back down.
Yeah.
But no,
That's
man,
awesome.
it was a blast. And the folks at Paramount,
Oh, they were wonderful.
man, they hosted us anything we needed. I mean, it was arms wide open, and we couldn't have had a better staff there with us.
I love that the great woman we worked with from the Paramount, Amy, her last name, it's spelled differently, but her last name is actually Bristol. And she,
You're right.
which was kind of fun. Like when we first met her, we're like, you're pulling our leg. But no, Amy Bristol at the Bristol Paramount.
I had no clue that State Street, it didn't dawn on me until the next day, split Tennessee and Virginia.
Yeah.
I didn't see the plaque in the middle of the road. Yeah. So, like, after we got done the next day, I'm seeing posts on Facebook and everything, and there's this, you're on Tennessee this side, you're on Virginia this side. I was mad I missed a picture.
Yeah.
I think I did that in McKaysville and Copperville or Tennessee one time.
Okay.
North Carolina, Tennessee. There's a train that runs through. I missed my picture, missed my photo op.
I did too. I even looked at the plaque and didn't think to take a picture. Well, next we got to go back there sometime.
I'm down. Let's go.
Let's go. What sparked your love of the Braves earlier in life? What did it for you?
Oh man, so 91 was the first season I watched the Braves. I was 6 years old, and of course that year in 91, I grew up in the Jonesboro area, so I've been in Metro Atlanta my entire life. But in 1991, that was my first year playing T-ball. That was my first year in the baseball world. And like everybody in the Atlanta area, it was that worst to first year. Mm-hmm. My mom was a huge Braves fan. My granddad, which is a big reason why I'm here today, just huge Braves fan. So to follow that 91 year, when Greg Olson got trucked at the plate and got injured, the 91 World. I'm still not a fan of the Twins, by the way.
Right.
Kent Herbeck.
Right.
That
was dirty.
Still never going to cheer on the
cheating.
Twins ever.
He cheated.
But just that 91 year, man. Ron Gant was my mom's favorite player. Just following that. And I mean, back then, of course, there's no internet. There's no social media. Right. You had the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. You had Fox 5 News. I still remember Jeff Hullinger today on Fox 5. It was like, when is Jeff Hullinger doing the Braves report? What are we going to see? Who hit the home runs? Who won? And then that last game of the season, when we won the NL West, which was crazy. All those years we played in the West.
So
how much
weird.
sense did that make? And then to go to the playoffs and just to see all of Atlanta. I mean, everybody, paintings on their business windows, everybody was sold. So that was my first taste with the Atlanta Braves at 6 years old. Well, of course, 14 years after that, it's division title. We were spoiled.
Yeah.
Big time. But, I think about those nights, like 92 at Fulton County when Sid Bream slid. I was there for that.
Were you really?
Yes, sir. And the
No
place
kidding.
was crazy. I mean, I was 7 years old watching Sid Bream come in and slide.
Where were you sitting?
Oh, man, we were up in the nosebleeds, but who cares?
Who cares?
We were
You
in
were
Atlanta,
there.
Fulton County for Game 7 to beat the Pirates that night.
One of the best baseball games ever.
Yep. 93, the press box fire with Fred McGriff's first night. 95, being a radio guy, hearing Skip Carey go back now and hear him make that call about Marquise Grissom making that catch. And then, the Olympics come in and moving to Turner Field. Turner Field, to me, I feel kind of was my era of the Braves. Mm-hmm. Just because I think I went to more Braves games as a teenager and young adult. So the Turner Field era to me is always going to feel, I mean, I love Truist, don't get me wrong. The place is amazing. But Turner Field to me still feels like home. Even when I drive by it, that'll always be my favorite part of being a Braves fan. But everything, man, from 91 to now, and like I said, there's been several doctor's appointments, mild heart attacks and strokes, depression, the infield fly rule in the, 2012 playoffs
I was there
that year.
You were at the Sid Bream game. I was at that game.
Goodness gracious.
I was sitting right at third base, and it happened right in front of me, and it's still.
I've lived it.
Still bothers
If it's happened with the Braves since 91, I've either been there, watched it, heard it, every player, every trade, every great moment, highlight, low light. I mean, it's just. And again, it's a lot due to my granddad, man. He was, my granddad, that was our thing. My granddad didn't hunt, didn't fish, didn't play golf. He loved the Braves. So as a kid, he worked in downtown Atlanta. Well, he was off on Thursdays and Fridays. So in the summertime, when we were out of school, he'd call me up, "Hey, son, I got some tickets. Y'all want to go today?" And it was me and my younger brother and my granddad. And we would start the day going to the varsity, spending the day at Turner Field. Just that, man. And then, the times I had with him, the Braves were our thing. So to come on a random night, that was our thing to do. And the last phone call I ever had with my granddad was back in 2020, the night Freddie Freeman hit his first grand slam.
No kidding.
My granddad calls me and my brother, "Did y'all see it? Did y'all see it?" And he was battling cancer, and 2 days later he passed away. But so when I got the job here for the Braves, the first day I pulled up, man, it was just like, I just wish he was here. I just wish he could come with me one night and just one more time. So it's a special time every time I get here.
I love that. That is beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. And that's what it's all about. I think that's those family connections that we have to either the Braves or sports or whatever it is. You can develop a sports fandom at any point in your life. I'm not ever going to say you can't. I do think that generally speaking, those ones that you form as a kid, and especially the ones that are formed with people that you love and that you care about, those are the ones that it just means something different. It's why you spend your life loving it. It's why you spend your life knowing every season, knowing that you got a 1 out of 30 shot of not being sad at the end.
Right.
Which is like if you just step back and thought about it, like how crazy of a situation is that for you to step into? Like I can't do math. So 1 out of 30, I don't know what the percentage is.
You've got a chance.
But that's the way to look at it.
Got a shot. But I'll never forget last year. Just one more thing. Our opening night of 24, our first game here, the first night I worked, when we got done, I drove back down to Jonesboro and his gravesite, took a Braves flag and a sticker, put on his headstone, and was just a pretty cool moment, man. But that's what it was all about. So like I said, every time I pull up here, that 6-year-old kid comes out in front of me, and even if it's game 65, to me it's that first game back in 91, just because it really is to me it's a dream come true. And I know I don't do much. I just yak, I just talk. I am not a very important person in this organization. I get it, but I promise you one thing: I don't know of anybody else in this organization who will love this team more than I do, who will be as grateful just to be like when I wear this. I told Jeffrey every day I put this jersey on, man, I feel like I'm one of those guys out there on the field, and all I do is talk on a microphone. So it is an absolute, an honor, to be here.
That's beautiful, man. I love it. That's a great place to end it, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, and this is the first of, I hope, many appearances on Behind the Braves.
Hopefully we can talk about our first Braves Country karaoke performance on the next time around. All right,
that's what we'll do.
I love it.
It's on tape now, and it's going out to Braves Country, so I got to do it now.
They're back out now.
They all trust me. As I've discovered recently, they have my email address. They let me know.
We could just get me, you, Jeffrey, and find one more and have our new Highwayman crew. If you want to be Waylon, I'll be Merle.
That's fine.
Jeffrey Short, he can run on Willie Nelson.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
we just need a good Chris Christopherson, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Jeffrey would be a good Willie Nelson.
He
we got to get him a good wig though. So
we had a marketing game entertainment, like we had a little season kickoff party at our boss's house, and as part of it he had, just for fun, he had some 80s like hairband style wigs.
I could see it. Yeah.
And when I tell you, Jeffrey put one on, and I started calling him Jeff Leopard.
I could see him like White Snake, Def Leppard, absolutely.
Yeah,
rip shirt.
He could wear the bandana, the long pigtail.
We're on to something.
I love it. All right.
So thank you for having me, man. It's been a blast.
Chad, it's been awesome, man. Appreciate you, man. And everybody, make sure you come out and say hi to Chadalac before Braves games here at Truist Park. He does an amazing job out there. So thank you.
Yeah, before the games, because they don't let me in for the games.
That's right. Yeah, so it's got to be before the game.
Before
otherwise
first pitch.
See him.
After that, I'm heading back home.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.